When employees are consistently behaving badly, not performing, not following expectations, this is no longer a coaching problem. It's a leadership problem. Managers such as yourself want to be nice, and you want to give people a second chance, and you want to have faith that people are going to get better. But because of that, you're condoning this bad behavior. And this turns into lowering the bar for everybody else. So as a result, all your good performers start looking for another job. So several years ago, I was helping a client with some underperformers, and every business always has excelling performers. So your high potentials, the people that you're going to put on those succession planning, the people that are always going to pick up the slack, etc. So in this particular organization, there were 5 different departments, and in those departments, there was a head of each department. And in one of the departments, there was the poor performer, and then the rest of the departments, everyone had a decent, good performer. However, those decent, good performers, one of them actually excelled everybody else, right? And so that person who excelled was always picking up the slack, willing to do a lot of extra work, put their hand up for projects, because they had an intention that they thought there was some sort of succession planning happening, and they were told that succession plan is going to happen. The promises that never tend to get somewhere. It happens in every organization. And at some point in time, that high potential finally stood up and was like, this has to stop. I'm paid the same as all the other department heads, and I'm the one picking up everything. I'm the one doing all these other activities. I'm also helping all the other department heads, etc. Specifically when now they found out that they were all making the same money. So now this high potential who was picking up all this extra work and doing all these other things was making the exact same money as that other department head that was a low performer. That did not go over well at all. And I'm sure you've seen stories like this. Once people start realizing how much they make, and if they're making the same and they feel that they're worth more and they feel that they do more than someone else, chances are they do, this does not work well. So as a result, that high performer now started reducing their performance. They're like, I can only work at 80% of my capacity and I'm still better than the low performer. So why should I be any different? Why should I excel? Why should I pick up all these extra projects? Why should I always say yes to helping out, right? And I get it. I've been in that position, so I get it. So going back to my example earlier, is you have high performers that are always willing to stand up and say yes. You have people that you can count on consistently all the time. You have to find a way, though, to compensate them in some sort of fashion that they're happy with, so that they can see that it's good for them to put their hand up and it's good for them to, be on some sort of succession planning. There has to be gratification outside of just busting their ass every day for a company that is going to pay them the exact same thing as someone who is not performing. So in order to sort of help all of you with these types of situations, because there are stories like this in every organization I've worked with, I have a couple guides and tips that I will provide to you just coming up in one quick second. Hi, I'm Jose, and for about 28 years now, I've been helping leaders make those uncomfortable conversations just a little bit more comfortable. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 tips that are going to help with those chronic underperformers so that your high performers don't get pissed off and that you can keep them because you want them putting their hand up and helping you all the time. So your first tip for today, helping those chronic underperformers, is you need to determine if the issue is skill, will, or an environment issue. Skill being maybe they need more training, right? Maybe there's something that they don't know how to do in their job description. Maybe they've been cutting corners for a long time. Maybe they policies or laws have changed, so they need a refresher. Will is, do they have the motivation to still do the job, right? Are they still in it, or have they checked out? And then environment, are they perhaps not doing the job? And this is why they're a chronic underperformer, because of something else that's going on in the workplace. Maybe they're working with someone that they really don't like. Maybe they're being harassed. Maybe there's also something going on outside of work that's affecting them in work. So to give you more guide on skill, will, or environment, and what you can do, the types of questions that you can ask, and how you can decipher that, click on that link below and I'll send you a guide to help you with that. Our second tip today to help with those chronic underperformers is having a come to Jesus talk. Has anyone ever heard of that before? It's a really common term that we have in HR, not something that you learn when you go to school for HR, but once you're in the field for a long time and you're used to it, or with seasoned people, it is a real term that we use on a consistent basis. And sometimes we would even joke around with people and be like, yeah, that guy needs a come to Jesus talk, or that girl needs a come to Jesus talk, right? Has nothing to do with religion. It's all about their performance. So the key now to having a come to Jesus talk is you have got to be as straightforward as you possibly can. And for some people, that's hard, because I have spoken to hundreds of leaders over the course of my time in HR that feel they've had those difficult conversations. And I have been straightforward. And then when they explained to me what they said, I was like, ooh, you're too nice. Now, it does not mean that you have to be an ass, right? I'm not saying that. But being straightforward is 100% straight to the point. You have to tell people what is not working. And then you have to tell them what you want them to do. And then you have to tell them what the corrective action is going to be if they don't do it. So again, another 3 things. You have to be very direct, telling them what is not working, extremely direct on what you want them to do. And then third, they need to know those consequences, right? Unfortunately, many people only work by consequences. And if you don't follow through with consequences, you continue to condone that behavior, just like we said earlier. So if you're going to tell people there's consequences, you have to follow through with them. So my third and final tip for today for really dealing with those chronic underperformers, can you guess what it is? Drum roll. Many of you should know what this is. Terminate. There are people that are just not a right fit for the business, and it's okay. Now, depending on where you are in the world, you may have laws related to termination. And in some places, there are very stringent laws related to termination. That it depends on the person's age, their years of service, what type of position that they're in. Are they high position? How much pay, benefits, personal situations? Like, there are a lot of things that you have to consider when you want to terminate someone. But if you truly have that chronic underperformer who you have allowed to underperform for a long time, other people now are lowering their expectations, which means lowering their productivity because you've allowed that underperformer to underperform. You've now created this environment. So in order to get trust from your employees and try to reel them back in and hopefully bring up that productivity, you're going to have to terminate. So I would say check with your laws or check with your HR specialist. And if not, even check with a lawyer. But sometimes you're just going to have to cut ties with people. Make sure that you're fair and equitable so that you don't get sued. But terminations can be easy if you know what you're doing. Thanks everyone, and we hope to see you in our next video.